If you're queer and we can't say queer, what do we call you?
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
What's up, taxpayers? I'm Chris.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to Average American again. Thank you for joining us. Today's episode is going to be a little bit more about responding to some little a-hole trolls that didn't have nothing better to do, but we appreciate you. I'm going to go first.
Yep.
That's all right with Jen here.
Absolutely. Good.
A lot of it started with fake memes, false memes with misinformation on them. And we're not political science experts. We're not news anchors, obviously, if you can tell by this wonderful production studio we have here. I'm not even that smart. We're average Americans. She might be, but we're average Americans, everyday people, kind of with a common goal and kind of tired of the bullcrap. So in the last video, in our intro video, the trailer for our new channel that we're making, Jen mentioned the LGBTQ community and not forcing it on our kids. I don't want, and I don't think she wants, any kind of sexuality, straight, homo, whatever, forced on our kids.
Nope, I don't care what it is.
She literally said, and maybe I'll put a clip in, also things like the LGBTQ community.
To each their own, but stop forcing it on our children.
Live how you want.
Yeah, you do whatever you want. If you're an adult, like if that's how you want to live, go for it. Just leave our children out of it. I don't care if you're straight. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're trans. I don't give a damn what you do. Frankly, that's your business behind closed doors. But do not send it towards our children. Like our children do not need to see anything of that sexual nature. Period.
On that same note, if you're queer, and I call you a queer, how am I wrong? It's literally in the name LGBTQ, and what other acronyms y'all have for being pansexual, demisexual, multisexual, horsexual. I don't know everything. We'll get, that'll definitely be a very fun episode to do on what sexes there are. Anyway.
Bring on the hate.
And I'm pretty sure just some FUs were told and then called bigots.
Yes.
Just a lot of hate, and then to y'all that commented, a lot of y'all got hate too, and we apologize for that.
Yeah.
There is free speech, but we won't tolerate that, or almost. When you just start
exactly
cussing and yelling at people, that's not going to happen, because you won't come to me to my face and tell me that and start yelling at me, because I will punch you in the mouth.
So will I.
And that's not a threat, that's a promise. Okay, amongst many of stuff that didn't have anything to do with anything, it's like you can be talking about the basketball scores, and the Democrats going to post a meme of how terrible Trump is with information that's not true, and has nothing to do with basketball. That's how I don't understand it, and they're going to yell at you.
I get yelled at a lot.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
screw you guys, right? Come have a beer and yell at me in person so I can punch you in the mouth. Or in your tucked wiener, it's whatever.
I'm kicking you in your tucked wiener so I actually get results.
I'm going to turn you around and kick you, because I know your balls tucked too. It'll do you no good. Alright, so I got a comment. Great work for idiotic, bigoted, targeted propaganda. We are Trump supporters. We ain't smart enough to be spreading propaganda. If 1 + 1 = 2 is propaganda to you, then you live your life how you want to and be all upset about it. That's up to you, bud, or ma'am, whatever it is.
Oh, ma'am!
Yeah. Whatever.
Sorry.
All right. And then below that, we also have FU, the LGBT community, to each their own, but stop forcing it on our children. So he used the actual quote of what Jen said in the first video. Average Americans are idiot bigots. You are self-described. Y'all please help us. And then you misinformed idiots that said that. She said, live how you want to. What? And we genuinely need to know, how does that make us bigots? Other than that you have a problem, small man syndrome, tiny pee-pee, I don't know. Whatever's going on in your life that's got you so upset, maybe daddy touched you, and I hope you can get some help. But maybe you do need help. Maybe you're upset with life, but you can't blame it on everybody else. So.
And saying that we want to protect our children, I don't really find that to be bigoted. I'm sorry. if you find that it's okay that our children do this, there's something fucking wrong with you. Like, our children shouldn't be seen to this. I don't care if they're, okay, so even say middle school. Alright? In my opinion, I don't want my kids to see it in freaking middle school. Because that's where the dude went, oh, well, in middle school we had this and we had that. No. Like, you want to keep your children as innocent for as long as possible. If in middle school is when they see it, okay, but it's not everybody else's job to teach them. That's what happens when you're parents. It's your job to guide and instruct your children to morals in life in the way that you want your children to have said morals. It's not your job to tell my kids, hey, it's okay to tuck your wiener and put on a freaking wig in life. It's not your job.
All that being said, no, I don't hate gay people. I got gay friends. I have a gay sister who is married to a woman. I don't agree with the lifestyle for many reasons. Maybe being religious, or maybe that it doesn't make sense evolutionary wise because, you know, a couple of scissors can't produce nothing. But that's just my opinion, how I live. I don't hate them. I don't judge them. I hang out with them. My kids hang out with them. I tell them I don't agree with it, but we all love each other and I love them. They have a son together. Through artificial insemination of apparently some pretty handsome redheaded doctor type dude. I don't know.
And they're two really great people. Like,
and they're great people for the most part.
I mean, what they choose to do in the bedroom, like I said prior, that's their business.
And to finish up the homo talk, I was also called a homophobe because I called a dude gay and told him to get with his boyfriend and go ride in his Prius. Because his profile picture I thought was a Prius. But he let me know him and his boyfriend ride around in a Kia Soul. I told you to ride around with your boyfriend because you have a boyfriend. That's not me being homophobic. That's you being a queer. And that's fine. If you're a queer and I call you a queer, I'm not a homophobe or a bigot.
That's calling you out for what you are.
That's not even calling you out. That's calling you by your proper adjective that you want. But moving on, in all seriousness, we're not bigots. We're going to say that one more time. Until you super left-wing fascist, look up fascism in history, look up the definition. Y'all are very fascist.
Oh, dear Jesus, yes.
The very example of what tyranny will be and happen to us if people like you continue to talk. Because you scream and yell stuff that's not true. And like Hitler said, if you tell a lie often enough and loud enough, people will believe it. Not us. And that's where we draw the line. Between patriotism, socialism, being in America. You can believe how you want to, but if you're anti-America, no, I won't listen to you.
Right.
Because Ricky Bobby says, this is America.
So the same guy said something about Trump's pay and not doing donations with his standard pay. Well, I researched it. I went again to make sure that I wasn't wrong about what I knew already.
Because we actually do that.
Yeah, I'm big on it. Like I make sure that I delve into many things. I want to know for my own security that I'm not just spewing a bunch of BS.
This isn't Fox News or CNN or New York Post article.
Everything that I have got is actually from White House statistics. It's not, and I'm actually going to go in and...
in the description, we'll put the sites.
The actual... Okay, that's even better. So, anyways, Q1, 2017. Did he rebuild a cemetery or a military cemetery? Not exactly. What he did was he donated his first $100,000 to the Department of Interior. Earmarked said $100,000 to the National Park Services and maintenance of a Civil War cemetery. So no, he didn't go in and just completely rebuild this military cemetery. $100,000 is not going to do that. But that's all he had. Because the way this is broken down is you get $100,000 per year, not $400,000 all at one time.
$100,000 per quarter.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, which is per year. No, it's not. It's per quarter. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Per quarter. Okay. So Q2, 2017, he gave them or he gave it to the Department of Education to fund a STEM program. For those of y'all who don't know what STEM is, it's science, technology, engineering, and math for children who couldn't afford to go. How is that a bad thing?
Just Trump did it, duh.
Well, true.
'Cause
That was also $100,000. Quarter 3, also 2017, he gave it to the Department of Health Services, and he wasn't going to try, he donated it to try and expand everyone's knowledge on the opioid epidemic. Also, $100,000. Quarter 4, the Department of Transportation, which was an infrastructure program, also $100,000 to rebuild our roads, to rebuild highways, to begin all of that stuff that y'all are seeing out in California and you're seeing in Texas and other large cities that needed to be rebuilt. Y'all complain about potholes, and guess who's doing it for you? Trump.
Congress should be really doing quite a bit of that.
I agree, but you can't because you're too busy trying to impeach a president for something that he didn't do.
Darn.
Daggum. So, quarter 1 of 2018, he donated to the Department of VA. He gave it to the caregivers program and to on-site doctors. What I mean by that means us as VA or as veterans can now go see doctors in the same places y'all see doctors. And I can say that because I am a veteran. I go to said doctors. I used to have to drive 2 hours to go to a doctor if I wanted to deal with a headache. Now I can go over the bridge, 30-minute drive, and I get to see a doctor and not have to worry about whether or not they're going to charge me thousands of dollars for something that I have full medical to deal with. Donated $100,000 to do that, or to start that. Okay, quarter 2. He donated it to the Small Business Administration, earmarked emerging leaders. What he did with this is, over the $100,000, he found several small businesses, and he donated $100,000, split them up between so many businesses, and gave them to their owners. Kind of just as a, hey, here y'all go. Y'all deserved this. Y'all are doing great things for your community. I'm giving y'all this. Build something. Put this back into your company. That kind of thing. How is that bad? Like, I don't understand y'all's logic. And quarter 3 was the National Institute for Alcohol Abuse. He built a rehabilitation clinic. Took $100,000. You build a rehab, guess what it's gonna take? It's gonna take quite a bit of money. In quarter 4, it went to the Department of Homeland Security for aviation and cybersecurity. Alright, now let's get into 2019. Department of Ag. That was quarter 1.
Quarter 1, baby.
It was an outreach program through the USDA. That's to help our farmers. That thing that I've heard on media saying that he shut down. No. Instead, he gave $100,000 to support it. Check your lies, bruh. Okay.
You can't call him a bruh. We don't know how he identifies.
I don't give a damn how you identify, to be honest. You're all bruh to me. Quarter 2, he gave it to the Surgeon General's office, which was for a public health advisory campaign. Because you know what happened in quarter 2 of 2019? Our opioid epidemic was the highest that it has ever been in history. People were dying like flipping fruit flies, for lack of a better thought right now. Like, they were just dropping left and right, all because they wanted to do these drugs that were induced by Big Pharma. Put that in your, smoke it. Okay, quarter 3. Secretary of Health. Okay. And he actually did this to continue the fight on opioid crisis. This man this man really cares. Okay, so with that being said though, he only donated $77,300. The other $22,600 went into a general fund of the Department of Treasury due to Congress not allowing the other part to be. Why? Q4 has not yet been announced, and I'll get back to you on that when I find out.
So all that being said, y'all, there's a lot of information to go over, and the link for all this will be in the description. Look below in the description. Please comment respectfully. Whether if you disagree, that's fine. We have no problem with that.
All right, y'all. Well, like I said previously, as we delve into this, buckle up because it's going to be one hell of a ride.